Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I gotta start with this from the Crypto Basic. Volume of $55 trillion needed for XRP to hit $100 as expert links XRP value to XRP ledger activity. The first thing they cite is an article from all the way back in 2021, coming from Quincy Jones. And back then, his article made a lot of sense. What he was saying back then made sense. But here we are now in 2025, and a lot has changed. Plus, they're not factoring in the market cap multiplier. You know, they want people to believe that XRP is not going to hit certain price points now because of this, because of that. They're tying it to everything else that's going on in crypto. Market cap does not matter when it comes to XRP. Here's another article from the Crypto Basic. XRP price could rise to $33 if crypto market cap grows by $10 trillion. Again, market cap. It's like these people are stuck back in 2018, 2019, 2020. We now know market cap does not matter. Utility matters. Scarcity matters. Demand it matters. What's XRP built to do? It's built to move money. What's happening right now? We have a wave of institutional adoption on the way. We are on the verge of regulatory clarity coming out of Washington that's going to greenlight everything. XRP is going to be utilized in cross-border payments at a much higher level going into 2026. You know, and they're still citing market cap. I just don't get it. XRP revisits $3 support, but data shows bulls are still in control. You know, whenever XRP comes close to going back under $3, everybody starts to panic. You got to remember, we went sideways around 50 cents for years. Years that happened. And every once in a while, you would see a 5-cent move up. I'm not worried at all about the price of XRP right now. I'm watching what's happening in the real world and what is about to happen next. And everything points to XRP blasting off and having an epic run going forward. I would not worry about my investment at all as an XRP investor. First ever XRP-backed stablecoin loans go live on Flare via Enosis. This is big because what's great about this is you can borrow against your crypto. Enosis explained that XRP holdings will back the stablecoins, ensuring they maintain a value close to $1. Through this approach, XRP holders can access the value of their assets without having to sell them. The CDP protocol to be deployed on Flare is called Liquidity. Enosis claims Liquidity is one of the most tried and trusted protocols in DeFi. Since its launch in 2021, the network has secured billions of dollars in collateral and kept its stablecoin peg amid extreme market conditions. So now you will be able to borrow against your XRP on Flare. Remember, this was all part of you being your own bank, being able to borrow against your XRP, maybe pay it back with passive income that you're getting off of your XLM or XDC or other cryptocurrencies. Or maybe you don't borrow against your XRP at all. Instead, you just get passive income from it through staking and things like that, or loaning out your XRP. You see how it's all starting to happen now. You know, we used to talk about these things back in 2020, 2021, and people said it's going to take years for that to get put in place. Here it is happening now in 2025. This comes from Smoke. The IMF acknowledges the cross-border payments market as a $1 quadrillion opportunity, plus ISO 222. You take notice how whenever the IMF or some other, say it's the ECB, whenever they talk about cross-border payments, they not only cite just cross-border payments, they talk about DLT, they talk about XRP ledger, XRP, Ripple's mentioned most of the time. And in that same article, they will always also talk about ISO as well. So if ISO was not a big deal, why would they even mention it at all when they talk about cross-border payments and crypto? It's because it all comes together. You could utilize XRP within ISO payments, ISO messaging. U.S. crypto Q4 2025 regulation timeline revealed. So September 9th, 12 Democratic senators unveil a market structure framework for digital assets. By September 30th, SEC portion of legislation expected to pass committee. October, Senate Agriculture Committee, CFTC oversight drafts language on digital commodities and debates SEC CFTC jurisdiction. November, committees reconcile jurisdictional issues. Full market structure bill could reach the president's desk before Thanksgiving. Year end is the goal. So we now know the timeline has not changed all that much when it comes to regulations and crypto. And this comes from Coin Bureau. Take a listen to this. Trillions could flow into crypto with the Clarity Act.
Yeah, we do believe the bill will be passed within the next 60 days. And this is further clarification. The Genius Act gave us clarity on stablecoins. This new bill will give us clarity on much more within the general world of crypto, and again provides the rules that the traditional finance industry, banks, insurance companies, credit card companies, as well as the Fortune 500 generally, need to know that they're able to engage in this marketplace. They know what they're allowed to do, how they're allowed to do it, how they have to disclose it and report it and pay taxes on it. And this is going to unleash the burdens that have kept everybody out of the marketplace. The result of all this, Talia, you're going to see hundreds of millions, probably hundreds of billions of dollars, perhaps even trillions of dollars flowing into Bitcoin and other digital assets. And since all of these coins operate on a supply-demand issue, just like any other asset, we're anticipating this is going to be the beginning of a major source of inflows and price increases over the.
And I agree with that. And I think some of the money will flow into Bitcoin. But the problem I see with Bitcoin is most of the institutions are already looking past Bitcoin. You know, they had the ETFs since the beginning of last year, and now they're starting to look down the road. They're looking at the technology now because they're starting to realize that the real value is not in Bitcoin. It's in the technology that they're going to utilize inside of the new financial system. This comes from King Valex. Grok says probability of crypto market structure bill passing next week or early October is 60%. If that happens, it would send Bitcoin to 450K in a month because of global institutional inflows. I'm just not seeing all those inflows go directly into Bitcoin. Right now, all the hype on the mainstream media news is already Ethereum. I think Ethereum would most likely see more of those inflows than Bitcoin. But who knows? Maybe it does push Bitcoin above 250K. Black Swan Capitalists put this out as well. So what's going on with XRP? It's not stuck. It's intentionally being stalled. Take a listen.
Who else is under an NDA? Okay, I think what we've got now is a stall. The big banks are trying to accumulate XRP, and not just BlackRock. That's not a bank; it's a disgustingly corrupt private equity firm. They're going to tell Ripple, help us out so we can get a boatload of XRP under $3. Mm-hmm. We don't want to buy it at 7 or 8 where it should be right now. Can you help us out to keep it?
Take notice he said XRP should be already at around $7 or $8. And I totally agree with that. I even said after the Rippleverse SEC case ended, XRP should now go through a recovery phase because it was already the number 2 asset going into that Rippleverse SEC case already. It was already sitting above Ethereum. So there's no reason why XRP should not already be at around $8. I would now even argue it should be above $10 already. But I think they are intentionally holding back the price of XRP. And I do believe a lot of these banks are loading up in the background. And look at all the Coinbase XRP is disappearing at the same time. So that actually makes a lot of sense. Canada seizes $56 million in Bitcoin, XRP, and other crypto as it shutters exchange Trade Ogre. And why did they do that? Because Trade Ogre was not complying with money laundering regulations, AML. Like I've been telling you this entire time, if you're using an exchange that doesn't do KYC, know your customer, or follow anti-money laundering regulations, those exchanges are going to be seized, or they're just going to fold up overnight and disappear. And guess what? If you're storing your crypto on that exchange, your crypto is gone as well. That's why KYC and AML is so important right now. People buy their crypto on the exchange and they leave it there. They don't know what goes on at those exchanges. They don't know if that exchange is following regulations. You have no idea. Then all of a sudden, your crypto's gone. And you're like, what happened with that exchange? Well, they weren't following the rules. We are going to see a bottleneck with the exchanges. We're going to see a bottleneck with crypto wallets as well. Not hardware wallets. I'm talking about a lot of these other wallets that keep popping up all over X. And then you're going to see a bottleneck with crypto in general. Meme coins, a lot of them are going to disappear. There's not going to be rug pulls once regulations are in place. That's all going to come to an end. This is what I've been telling you this entire time. But there's people out there that are like, oh, they're never going to get my crypto. My crypto's totally safe. I always bought crypto on this exchange. People get complacent, and all of a sudden, they lose everything. We are in a much different time in crypto. Regulations in the United States are expected to be in place by the end of this year. And next year, I'm expecting Ripple to get a banking license. There's a good chance Ripple will emerge as a bank in 2026. I think it's most likely going to happen sometime between January and March. And then after that, we're going to see the rise of utility as well. You don't want to lose your crypto now, is what I'm telling you. You want to be here for when all of that happens. You can't be here when all your crypto is gone. You're going to end up losing everything. But, I could only tell you not to trust the exchanges so many times. But this is going to continue to happen. And it's going to happen all around the world. And a lot of the exchanges that people use are not even based in the country they live in. A lot of them are popping up offshore as well, is what I'm saying. Keep your crypto safe so we can all get rich together. Until it happens, stay patient and stay positive. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.